Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to the Boring Company and Elon Musk. Today's topic is going to be quite a serious one. It has legitimately been brought up by some critics of the Boring Company, and I thought that it's important that we look at it today and discuss it, and we discuss the remedies to this issue. So, what are we going to look at today, and why is it so important to this project? Could the loop be derailed because of fire concerns? Let me just resize this, guys. Potentially it could. It could definitely be derailed. It is a major concern. The LA Council are not going to sign off on a project if they believe there are some risks, no matter how minimal they could be. So, in the Western world, fire still causes many deaths every year. Despite the knowledge of fires and how they're caused and how to prevent fires has improved dramatically over the last 50 years, we still get house fires, we still get commercial office fires, we still get fires in buses and in cars and even in trains. So it's still a major concern for engineers and planners. In 2016, some 3,390 people died in the USA in house fires. US Fire Administration. Granted, this is not a house, however, it just gives you a scale of how many people are being killed and injured in house fires. So for every one person that dies, there's probably 5 people that are injured in house fires. Over 20% of US fire deaths are caused by electrical faults. Now, this is a new development over the last 15 years. Mainly smartphones, laptops, hoverboards, all sorts of electrical items, hair straighteners especially. Fires inside tunnels are a major problem to overcome. Now, why would I say that? Have you heard of any fires in tunnels recently in the USA? Personally, no, I haven't. However, in Europe, we have a history of some very severe fires. The main one is the Channel Tunnel. There have been 3 fires in the Channel Tunnel, amazingly. And I will talk about that in a minute. Tunnel fires are frightening. They are very unlikely to occur, but are devastating when they do. So, here's a good example. Channel Tunnel, which links the United Kingdom and France. On the 11th of September 2008, there was a major fire in the tunnel. This resulted in 60 million euros worth of repairs. The concrete basically exploded. It got so hot that the water inside the concrete, or the moisture, just exploded, causing the concrete to crack into pieces. There were 0 deaths, however 14 people were injured via smoke inhalation. The fire lasted for 16 hours and reached temperatures of 1000 degrees Celsius. It was basically a train carrying cars and trucks, and there was just so much combustible material on that train that it was just going on for hours and hours, even though they sent down many firefighters to deal with it. Now, this is a very serious fire. Mont Blanc tunnel fire in France, 24th of March 1999. 39 deaths. This was a road tunnel. I believe this one was started by a lorry. The lorry caught on fire. People could not escape the tunnel. They didn't know which way to get out, even though it was clearly lit, but the smoke just obstructed the signage. This is possibly one of the worst ones that I've ever seen. Kaprun tunnel disaster. Kaprun, Austria. This involved a train. 11th of November 2000. People were trapped. I believe they couldn't find a way out. Many people died of smoke inhalation. Very quickly as well. It was like a wildfire. It went straight down the train. Many killed. That just gives you an idea of how dangerous a fire is in a tunnel. It's very difficult to escape once the fire has started. Once the smoke is everywhere, it's very difficult to get your bearings, and thus a lot of people panic. They either stay where they are or they run towards the fire, not knowing where the exit is, and that is why so many people die. So what sort of things could cause a fire inside the boring loop system? Many things. You've got to think of every single thing before you begin to plan how you're going to negate these potential risks or minimize the exposure to these risks. Very difficult problem to solve. The obvious one is a battery fault inside a pod/skate. Now we know Tesla has got quite a bad reputation in the media for battery fires. In reality, this is scaremongering. Tesla vehicles are some of the safest vehicles in the world. In fact, I would argue that the Model S is the safest vehicle in the world. There are many vehicle fires every day in the USA, in Europe, in China. The vast majority of them, 99.8% of them, are petrol and diesel powered vehicles. So it's going to be, there's going to have to be some kind of testing procedure to ensure that batteries that are used inside the pods, and they already go through this with the Tesla Model S, X and 3, are the safest ever manufactured. A faulty personal electronic device. Obviously you've got passengers on there. They might have tablets, they might have laptops, they've definitely got mobile phones. They may even be using electric bikes, electric scooters, hoverboards. They may even have a Samsung Galaxy Note 7, which is the most combustible phone ever manufactured. So again, you can't really prevent people bringing faulty devices onto the pod, because they probably don't know they're faulty until they explode. Terrorism, jihad, or Islamic extremism. Obviously, potentially people could target the pods, explosive devices. However, with there only being, potentially 10, 12, 14 people on a pod, it's not the most high profile target. So it's unlikely. However, you do need to prepare for that. Also, you could have some kind of cult movement. Shinrikyo from Tokyo was a cult. Obviously, it wasn't a fire that they used. They used sarin gas, but again, they are just crazy individuals that will use the most easily accessible device to cause harm, and usually that is a petrol bomb or some kind of nail bomb, pressure cooker bomb. A major crash or collision. Two vehicles could crash into each other. Maybe one breaks down and then the other one goes into the back of it. Could be sabotage. Someone could place something into the tunnel, maybe like a large block or stone or something that gets underneath the vehicle and ruptures the battery. Arson attack, petrol bombs, fireworks. Again, this happens all the time across Europe. I personally was in a tram and someone set off some fireworks. Thankfully, the police were informed. No, there was no fire, but it was we're very lucky that it didn't cause a fire, because it just went off everywhere. It's like a pinball. There are many potential risks. The Boeing company needs to analyse solutions and mitigate risks. It's incredibly difficult to prevent any of the above, really. The only one that Tesla have control of, or the Boeing company, is the actual battery. And I imagine they would stick with the 2170 cell from the Model 3. I'm only aware of one vehicle fire involving a Model 3, so signs are good. Hopefully it is very, very robust and stands the test of time, but we'll probably only know that in the next 3 or 4 years. Critical thinking will ensure safety is integrated into the tunnel design. So if one of those, I think there was 5 things, if any one of those 5 things happens, obviously you need to react to it. You need to have systems in place that ensure that the fire is put out very quickly, and more importantly, people can escape the tunnel very, very quickly, and it is obvious where you need to go to escape the tunnel. So tunnel ventilation is absolutely critical. I cannot really stress that enough, how critical it is to rapidly ventilate the tunnel, not only if there's a fire, but at all times. Numerous ventilation shafts, high volume mechanical ventilation. So what you want to be doing is the shaft that is nearest to the fire needs to be sucking air out of the tunnel at a very, very high rate, extremely high rate. And then you need the other ventilation shafts that are on the opposite sides of the tunnel, maybe to the north and the south of the fire. They need to be pushing air in. So you've got 2 factors. You've got air being pushed in and you've got air being sucked out. And the effect of that is it causes the actual smoke to head in one direction, and it allows people to escape without inhaling massive volumes of smoke or having their views obstructed by thick, heavy black smoke. Numerous access shafts, stairwells every 650 meters for emergency escape. You've got to have regular emergency escape routes. So you're going to be sinking shafts. It's around every 650, 700 meters. It's around every half a mile. You also want some kind of path lighting. So I don't actually mean lighting on the ceiling of the tunnel or the walls of the tunnel. I actually mean lighting on the floor that lights up and guides you towards the exit. It's possibly a green arrow, and it points you in the right direction, and it guides you as you go along. And as you get further along the tunnel, maybe it flashes faster to sort of encourage you to move faster and to show you where the emergency exit is. So this is something that Tesla have expertise doing. So 100% battery power for all emergency systems. So you've got to think worst case scenario. Is there an earthquake? All the power goes off in California. Also, there's some kind of vehicle fire caused by the earthquake potentially. Therefore, lighting, communication and ventilation systems all need to have battery backup, at least 3 to 4 hours of backup, maybe more. So you'd use Tesla Powerwalls or power packs. You'd have to have quite a large storage solution, possibly 60 megawatt system easily. So I think this is quite critical. I've not seen this done in a rail tunnel. However, with the Boring Company system being 99.99% underground, it makes sense to have maybe some kind of sprinkler system or fire suppression system, either using water or foam, or I have even seen them use carbon dioxide. However, maybe not a great idea with passengers. So you'd need sprinklers, say every 12 meters, and have a very high pressure sprinkler system. Or maybe also in addition have some kind of electric pods or skates that also double up as fire trucks. So they would have a hose, and they would be able to spray the fire. They'd be able to get close to the actual pod or the fire and put it out very quickly. So again, something that the Boring Company needs to look into is how they can make sure that they can put out a fire within 30 seconds of it starting. I know that in certain skyscrapers, I believe in China, they have a special kind of sprinkler gun system, And the actual sprinkler rotates 360 degrees and can be pointed at the fire. It uses, I believe it uses infrared to find the heat source, and then it can put it out. Autonomous pods and skates should eliminate crashes, vehicle-to-vehicle communication. So I think it's highly unlikely that vehicles are going to crash into each other. Highly unlikely. If Tesla puts in kind of like a basic autopilot system, and on top of that the vehicles or the pods communicate with each other, vehicle to vehicle, the probability of an accident should be somewhere between 0 and next to 0, nothing. Tunnel CCTV with artificial intelligence. So what we need is a CCTV system that doesn't require people to watch it. It actually mans itself. So it can identify when people are in tunnels who are doing maintenance, but it can also identify unauthorized people that go into the tunnels. Therefore, those people can be warned that they're in an unauthorized area, possibly using some kind of speaker system. And also we can contact the authorities to actually go down into the tunnel and apprehend them. And also you could slow down the pods or even divert pods to other tunnels. You could also use a system to communicate with passengers during a fire. You could be saying to them, look, the fire is behind you, you need to run this way, or you're going the wrong way, you need to stop, or turn right, you are only 200 meters away from the emergency exit, that sort of thing. So just looking at these options here, there's lots of options, lots of engineering solutions that are available to the Boeing company. They could either use their own sort of in-house systems or go to third parties, and this would minimize the possibility of fatalities by maybe a factor of 2 or 3. They've definitely got to be very, very proactive in order to ensure that fires don't cause deaths in the tunnel. Oh yeah, we forgot pods, multiple exit doors, smash glass to exit. So I believe the pods will have a side double door, but also the front of the pod and the rear of the pod will open, kind of like wings, and then you can walk through the pod. So here's a question: am I worried about fires? To a certain extent, I am worried. Looking at it more as like an engineer. Am I concerned? Am I more concerned about other things? Yes, I am. I think the possible risks can be mitigated quite extensively, and it would be reasonably easy to come up with really concrete solutions that can resolve this. So overall, it's good to see that it's on the Boeing company website, and they're like taking it seriously, so I'm not massively concerned. Boeing Co fact page. So this is what the Boeing company are saying. Just like subways, so how do people evacuate? Just like subways, Loop has emergency exits along the tunnel route in an emergency or in a disabled skate scenario. The main system halts and the skates automatically transport people away from the incident and out of the tunnel through the nearest exit. In rare cases where this is not possible due to demobilized skates, passengers may exit the skate and walk to the nearest exit by following the Loop's emergency path lighting. There are no tunnel hazards in the Loop, e.g. a third rail. So there is nothing a passenger can touch which would hurt them in the event a passenger needs to pass a disabled skate. The forward and rear doors of the skate open to allow passengers to pass through the skate. In the unlikely case that the mechanical doors fail, each skate has a deployable platform to allow both pedestrian and wheelchair access to the side of the skate. What if there's a fire? The risk of a fire is very low in the Loop system as the tunnel lining is non-flammable and no flammable materials like asphalt are added. Additionally, there is no live electric third rail, minimizing potential fire sources and the effects of any water intrusion. This also limits the fire's energy to that of the skate's battery. So they are acknowledging that potentially there could be a battery fire. However, it will burn out quickly because it's basically the tunnel is 98% concrete. In the unlikely case that a fire does occur, the tunnel's ventilation system will remove the smoke to allow passengers to safely evacuate. So that's the mechanical ventilation system that I've just been previously talking about. Thank you for watching. Thank you, guys. I thought just at the end of this we could go through a bit of news and watch some videos as well. So please don't worry, there are numerous solutions to the actual potential problem of fires. Battery technology has also shown rapid improvements. I think with Samsung it was a manufacturing error rather than the actual technology in the battery. It was just the battery cells were put together incorrectly, and that's what caused the short circuit, and that's what caused the fires. Please like and subscribe, guys. I can't stress that enough. If you could like and subscribe, that would really help the channel. We continue to grow. We're on 44 subscribers now. Have a great day. So here's a battery pod. So let's just have a look at a bit of news while we're here. On Teslarati, I was reading this article about the Boring company selling its bricks. They're going to have a brick shop. In a series of tweets on Thursday, Musk gave updates on the tunneling startup's upcoming headquarters, the first Boring brick store, and the price of the blocks or bricks. They are actually bricks themselves. Musk started off the Boring company updates by stating that the company's first headquarters would be finished soon. That's good to see. If they're building a headquarters, and they must be serious about the company, so that's great. Saying 10 cents a brick would make it one of the most affordable bricks in the market. They're quite durable too, with Musk stating that the bricks, which are made from tunneling rock, are rated for California seismic loads. So yeah, it's great to see. Every brick that they sell is stopping actual spoil going to landfill, and it's keeping the costs down. So you cannot go wrong with selling the bricks. I think this is a big prediction. So you know, I'll come back on this. I think that the bricks, will sell like absolute hotcakes, because the nearest thing you can get to this, like a concrete brick, is around 36 cents. So it's less than a third the cost. I think they're going to sell thousands and thousands of these every day. And the typical builder will love these bricks because they're so durable, they're so good under compression, and they'll just look like standard bricks. So that's a really good thing. Right, let me show you a video. Excellent video. Really like this video. Jaguar have this advert, and they've actually gone into the Channel Tunnel. It gives a good idea of the size of the tunnel. So this is just the service tunnel where the actual Jaguar is driving, but it's almost the same size as the Boring Company tunnel. Around about a foot difference.
England, the home of Jaguar. And today, the electric I-Pace is here in London to take on an exclusive challenge to drive through the service tunnel of the Channel Tunnel. It was charged this morning in London for this non-stop journey, which is 369 kilometres. That's 229 miles. First it will drive through all the traffic to Folkestone, then through the service tunnel, and then on motorways right through to Brussels.
So here we go. there we go. So, as you can see, this tunnel is around about the same size as the Boring Company's proposed tunnel. It's quite interesting to see a large SUV like the Jaguar I-Pace in there. It looks reasonably spacious. So good signs for the Boring Company in terms of picking the right size of tunnel. Great advert, great car as well. That great car. I hope it does well. This is an excellent video. This is from the Now You Know YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to that channel, absolutely, definitely do so. Really great channel. One of the listeners actually went to not a flamethrower sort of a pickup event, and they got to see one of the shafts for the proposed Hyperloop, the Baltimore to DC Hyperloop, and they got to see some boring bricks.
A Boring Company, not a flamethrower party. Take it away, John. Alright, good morning, everybody. Well, today is the day. So let's just see what my calendar has. So we are going to the not a flamethrower Washington DC pickup party. Really excited about that. And about to get on the road here, pick up my buddy, and we're gonna head down. Gotta hit a supercharger on the way. Is this the start of a boring tunnel?
This might be one of the access points to the tunnel. Oh, yeah.
Baltimore to DC, right?
Actually, all the way to New York.
Oh, really?
The trouble with thinking of it as a DC to Baltimore tunnel is that there's an infinite number of access points and stops along the way. And so we really want to think about it as a DC to Maryland tunnel because it means that somebody in Laurel could hop on,
Oh, okay,
or someone
right.
or someone wherever could just hop on the tunnel and
Yeah.
get in there. So that's the idea.
Perfect.
But it's super exciting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely is. So these bricks are made out of the dirt from tunnels, right? And so 20% of the cost of tunneling is actually getting rid of the dirt. Right? So if you can give away the bricks, you just cut tunneling by 20%. Extra one TLA tunnel. And this is literally the dirt in the LA tunnel. Yeah. As we go through different geologies, the colors change. This we died, this we died. These two are not died.
So let's just have a look at these bricks.
As we go through different geologies.
As you can see, they are interlocking. We have these holes here. That'd be perfect for a nice strip of rebar. You can make a really strong wall if you needed to, like a retaining wall. They appear to be very durable. I mean, if someone handed me one, I'd assume it was a concrete brick, but it's obviously made out of compressed earth. So again, this is great. I just think they'll sell like hotcakes. I mean, I'd love to have a couple hundred of these. I could make a really awesome like a barbecue, or even just a garden wall. If I had 1,000, I'd make a belting garden wall. Just need a nice coping stone for on the top there to finish it off. But great video to see. Great to see there's some more information coming on about the potential Hyperloop that the Boring Company will probably be starting. It's at least 5 or 6 years away, I'd say, being realistic. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Really appreciate you watching the channel. Please come back again. There's going to be a lot more content. I've got a list of things that I want to cover, and hopefully you enjoy listening to it and you learn something. So please keep coming back. Thank you for watching. Thank you, and goodbye. Peace out, and don't be boring. Goodbye.